Hello, welcome to Grandad's Reviews. Now, I use a lot of old film cameras like this, old Zorky 6. And these haven't got light meters in. They're fully mechanical, and that's what I love. But now and again, I like to take a light meter with you. Now, I've got various light meters. So I've got the Iconic, what's that, L308S, which is great. Can do instant light reading, reflective light reading, and it works fine. But I'm carrying an extra thing around. If I want to look a bit more vintage, as you might say, I've also got, yeah, like this old six Ollie type cesium light meter. Now, they're not the most accurate thing in the world, but they're good enough. And if you're using the Sunday 16 rule anyway, then it's just a bit of a guide. This is a bit more retro, and it goes well with my old cameras. I've got something a bit more modern. Got the Leningrad 4, again, cesium cell. These cesium cells slowly degrade over time, so they do get a little bit inaccurate, so now and again you have to check them. But what I wanted really was just something that could attach to the camera. So I've got one of these, the TT Artisans meter. Now I've done a review on this. It's a great little meter, works fantastic. There's a Mark II version now which has got over some of the, I believe, got over some of the little issues I was having with it. I found that on the early Zorkies, because I've got a Zorky 1 and a 2C, this little hotshoe was too big, so I've had to file the edges off, which then meant it was too loose on the newer ones, so I've had to put a little band in it to make it stronger. And also, if you don't use it for a while, the batteries still go flat, so the batteries don't last as long as I'd like. But yeah, works great. You set your ISO, point the meter, a little light comes on and you adjust until you've got green. It's great, but if we stick it on, as you can see, for me personally, it takes away the aesthetics of this vintage camera. Now I know there are some of these that they make with a brass that you can make look old by rubbing some of the paint off so it looks a bit older, but you've still got these little lights coming on. It's, yeah, doesn't fit with the camera. So what I found was this. Never heard of it before. It's called the Kopil. It's a CDS, so it's not a cesium cell, so it's supposedly more reliable. Now, that, I think, fits these vintage cameras better. It's more aesthetically pleasing to me anyway, and it just, yeah, it looks, to be honest, it looks like a extra viewfinder. It's fairly easy to use. I did try to look up some information on it. There is a website that's got some info on it. Let's get the glasses and have a quick peruse of what we got. So you've got just here off, CH, H and L. Off is obviously it's switched off. CH, turn it to that and it does a battery check. There's a little green spot, so if I put that on, so you can see that needle move. Then you've got H and L. H in red, which is if it's bright, so a high setting, and L if it's darker. So if your needle doesn't move on the H, it doesn't come out of the bottom section. You can put it on low. Then in here you've got your ISO, so you just turn the dial to the ISO you want. So let's say ISO 200. You then point it at whatever, and depending on what you got, so if you've got it on low, you've got a white diamond, and that white diamond you line up with where your needle is, and then below it you read off your shutter speed on the black bit and your aperture on the silver bit. And if you had it on H for high, you then turn the red diamond and read the same, the shutter speed and the aperture just there. And I think it's just brilliant. It works very, very similar to my old Pentax light meter. Again, very simple, very analog. It is old and it should take a mercury battery, but you can get adapters. This has got an adapter in, it's got the 625A battery in, which is now a Klein version of the 625 mercury. Voltage is a bit different, but to be honest, I don't think it makes that much difference to it at all. There's a 0-in screw here to make sure the needle's at 0 when it's off. And one thing that on the website it didn't say about, and I was a bit confused to start with, battery goes in the back here. So I unscrewed this and thought, where's the battery go? And you actually unscrew the next bit, that bit there, and the battery's just in there. So what was this? Then figured it out. So at the moment it's taking reflected meter readings through the little lens. You can screw this on here. Now we've got incident reading. And save you from losing it, they'll put a thread in the back. So clever. Hot shoe mounted. Yeah, it's a fantastic little, it's been used as a bit of playing thing, so things move when they shouldn't. Like if I put the ISO to 200, then I move this, if it just catches it'll move it. But yeah, that's what do you expect. I don't know what year these came out. Made in Japan, it's solid. So it came out around about 1960, so it fits great. I've got this Fujika 35ml to test out, and I just think that looks better. Okay, it might not be as accurate, but I've tested it against this one, and to be honest, they do show about the same. But that on there, to me, looks better than that. I know that's a bit lower profile, but it just makes it look a bit more modern. I don't know, that's just me. I think this on here just fits it. And being a rangefinder, you can almost think it's, as I say, an extra viewfinder for a wide angle lens. So the Kopil light meter, didn't know much about it until I found one on eBay, but yeah, we'll give it a test out with this camera and see what the results are like. If you want something that looks a bit more in keeping with the camera you're using, I think that's brilliant. There's in the UK there's only one other up for sale, and it says it doesn't work, so I don't know. It might just need a battery, who knows, but this one seems to work. We'll give it a go and have a bit of fun with it. So nothing wrong with this, works a treat. I've got no issues with it apart from the battery life and the cold shoe mount not fitting all the cameras, but there you go. But I think I'm going to prefer this one on my older cameras. This is good. I'll tell you where this is good. On there. That suits that camera. That suits that camera. And I know it's a bit academic in a sense, they're both doing the same job, but I think if you're going to shoot vintage cameras, then it's got to look vintage. So that's my look at Kopil light meter. Enjoyed the video, get a thumbs up, that helps the channel. Want to see more videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Till next time, see you later.